Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, BK World TV. Today we will be continuing on the build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series by DeAgostini Japan. This is for Pack 26, stages 99 through 102. Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So today we will be continuing on the build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series from DeAgostini Japan. This is for Pack 26, stages 99 through 102 or 102. So as you can see, we have the magazine here for Pack 26, as well as the all the pieces, including I think the last one or two parts of the skeletal frame for the saucer section. But anyways, as usual, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at the contents of the magazine before we get started on the build. So as you can see here, we have the magazine, so we'll quickly go over to the back part of the magazine. Let's take a look at the contents. So the first part here, starting off, is episode 6, or season 6, episode 4, rather. My mistake here. So that is the relics. And then James Doohan, or Scotty, guest stars in this episode here, as well as you can see some of the I think behind the scenes footage with Jonathan Frakes, Doohan, and director Alexander Singer in this photo here. Then you can see some of the older set that they assembled for the relics, the original Enterprise, or at least they assembled partially, anyways, it looks like. But yeah, I think this just keeps getting going on with the crashed shuttle here, as well as the door. This looks like the doorway to the Dyson Sphere as well. And then moving on to the next episode is episode 5 from season 6, Schism. I think if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Anyways, I think this is when they had a nightmare, of course. And then you can see some of the concept arts as well. And then moving on to episode 6, which is True Q. And then this is when Q and I think her daughter maybe starts kind of starts in the episode here as well. And then moving on to I think the last page or so, which is episode 7, Rascals. This is where some of the crew turns into children as the Ferengis take over the ship. But yeah, this was also an interesting, a fun episode that I liked as well. But yeah, that is just a quick review of the contents of the magazine for Pack 26. So now let's go ahead and get started on the build. So in stage 99, we will be installing the skeletal frame for the saucer section, as well as some additional lighting cables. So let's get started. So first off, in stage 99, we'll be taking both of these deck panel lights that has 2 bulbs here, and then for each one we will be separating the wiring and then opening up the wiring for the lighting cables. So they are 90 degrees, each of the wires are 90 degrees to the bulb. So we just have to make sure that we don't break off the wiring when we do this. But yeah, pretty much it'll look, so it needs to be looking just like that for each of the light bulbs. Reason why we're doing this is I believe we're trying to get this added to the brackets that's part of the skeletal frame. I think we've done this in some of the other stages as well, but we're doing this again for this stage. So we'll go ahead and get this done. So as you can see, we now have the linings separated. So next we're going to attach this to the skeletal frame. I didn't attach it with a bracket, but we'll be first taking one of the wires and then taking the red, the black and yellow wire with the bulb, and then attaching that onto this little bracket that's here. So if we zoom in here, it will be this bracket right here on the bottom. And then basically the lining for it will be facing in that direction. So it'll be coming in from the underside here and then plugging this right in. Just like that. Then we'll be taking this little bracket piece here and then putting that right there on top, and then we'll be securing the bracket with one AM screw. So let's screw it in. So just like that, we now have one of the lining cables installed. So next we are gonna install the rest of the lining cables. So for this one here, we'll be installing the red and blue wiring right just like that, and then we'll be securing that with another bracket and one AM screw. So we'll go ahead and get the rest of the wirings in place, so we'll be right back. So just like that, as you can see, we now have all the linings installed here and these 2 points right here. So next we will be installing this skeletal frame onto the rest of the saucer section. So let's bring over the saucer section now. So as you can see, we have the saucer section right here. So basically we will be installing this skeletal frame right in here, basically just like that. And then we will be once it's easily put into place, but once it's seated, we will be securing that with 8 BM screws and 2 FM screws and 1 JM screw. The JM screw will go right here, but first let's secure it with 8 BM screws first. So let's screw it in. So now that we have the 8 BM screws secured, next we will be screwing in the 2 FM screws. So the FM screws will basically attach right here at the bottom to right there. So go ahead and get that screwed in. Then the last screw is the JM screw. So for the JM screw, that will connect the skeletal pieces that are next to each other together. So that basically would be the screw hole right there. So let's get that one screwed in, just like that. And then next we will be bringing over the last wiring that's included in the stage, and again we'll be separating the wire and then putting the wires 90 degrees to the light bulb there. So we'll be attaching it to the skeletal frame. And then for this lighting cable, basically it will be seated right onto this top bracket here. So if we zoom in so you can see better, it will sit right onto this bracket right there, just like that. And then we'll get the other plastic mount. Then we will be securing this with 1 AM screw. So let's get that one screwed in. So just like that. And then next we will be plugging in all of the 3 wiring. So the two big ones, they will connect to the bottom row right, the middle row right there. Then the small one's going to connect to the smaller connector. So let's get that all connected up. Just like that. So now that the wires are connected, we will be testing the lighting for it. So as you can see, the lighting is working. So if you turn off the top here, so as you can see, all the lighting here is all working. Right here as well. That is it for stage 99. In stage 100, we will be assembling again another piece of the deck panel, touching all the windows and escape pods. So let's get started. So as you can see here, we have this metal deck panel piece. We'll be attaching all the windows and escape pod hatches. So let's get the escape pod hatches installed first. So we'll be right back. So as you can see here, we now have the escape pod hatches all installed. So next we'll be attaching the bracket. So we have this large bracket piece, which will only fit in one direction. As you can see, it lines up perfectly. And then we have one small bracket here, where again, it will only fit in one direction, just like that. And then we will be securing both the brackets. First of all, we'll be securing the we will be securing the larger bracket with two IM screws. So let's get the larger bracket installed first. Just like that. So we have the larger bracket installed, screwed in with two IM screws. Then we will be securing the smaller bracket into place with one AM screw. So let's get that one screwed in as well. And then next we will be installing all the windows. But first off, just to show you guys, there's one window that is a different piece, which is actually comes like that. I clipped one out. It's a slightly larger window piece, and then for that window piece, sitting right here in the middle where the large slot is, just like that. And then for the rest, we will be just using the standard smaller window pieces that we've been using in some of the previous stages. So we'll get the rest of the windows installed, so we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the windows installed. So next we will be installing the reflector panel. So for the reflector panel, basically the this panel piece will be installed right here, just like that. The notch should be facing towards the larger end of the panel. And then for this one, we have another smaller reflector panel piece that's gonna fit right here, just like that. And then we will be securing all both of the reflector panels into place with an AM screw. So one AM screw for this one, and two AM screws for the longer reflector panel. So let's get that screwed in, just like that. And then for the last step, we will be attaching the ventral phaser array. So the phaser array, as you can see, only fits in one direction. So one side is straight, the other side is curved. So it only goes like that. And then from the other side, we will be securing this into place with two DP screws. So let's get that one screwed in, just like that. And then that is it for stage 100. So as you can see, we have this deck panel all nice and completed. So next we'll be moving on to stage 101. In stage 101, we will be assembling another deck panel piece and attaching that deck panel piece, including the one that we built in set up in stage 100, onto the saucer section, as well as also doing some additional work onto the drive battle section as well. So let's get started. So first off, as you can see, we have this plastic deck panel piece here with all the window slots. So we will be first installing all the windows before we do anything further. So we'll get the windows installed, so we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have all the window pieces or panels installed. So next what we're going to do is we're going to install the reflector panel on the back. So the larger reflector panel is going to sit right on the right side here. Just like that. And then the smaller one is going to go on the right side. And then we will be securing them with AP screws. So for now we'll be securing only, putting the screws only on the top row. So two here with two AP screws on this panel here, or this reflector panel, and one AP screw here on the top. So let's get those screws put into place. So as you can see, we now have the reflector partially screwed in on the top. This is how the panel looks like. So next we will be working on the adding additional lighting cables onto the saucer section. So let's bring over our saucer section here. So as you can see, we have our saucer section. We'll be working in this section where we installed the skeletal frame in the previous stage. So first off, let's grab our lighting cables. So we have 3 lighting cables here, one with a pair with 4 wires, and 2 bulbs, and one with 1 bulb here. So first off, let's get our pair of lights, feed it through. So as you can see, we now have the lighting cables all fed through the board from the top here down through here. Some goes to these 2, and then the other 3 cables comes out from the bottom. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to get our deck panel, which is this piece right here, and then we are going to connect the lighting on the bottom for it. So let's get that one done, and then we are going to secure the rest of the screws into place. So we'll be using AP screws for this. So it'll be 2 AP screws on each of the reflector panels. So let's get that one screwed in. And then once we have the panel screwed in, we'll be bending the lighting for it upwards. So let's carefully get the lighting cables all bent. Just like that. And then next we will be attaching the larger metal deck panel piece that we created in, I believe, stage 100. So we'll be attaching that deck panel piece right here, and then we will be connecting the 2 lighting cables that we placed in earlier. So the yellow and black is going to go on this side, and then the red and blue is going to go on the smaller reflector panel area. So let's get that one fed in as well, just like that. And then we will be placing this entire deck panel piece right onto the skeletal frame. So let's get that one done now, just like that. And then we will be securing the entire deck panel piece onto the skeletal frame with 3 FM screws. So let's get that one screwed in, just like that. So we are done with the saucer section, at least in this stage. So now next we'll move on to the battle section. So as you can see, we have our battle section piece right here. So next we will be installing the window piece. That's going to be for this top part here. So it's going to sit just like that. And then we are also going to install one escape pod hatch. So let's get our escape pod hatch installed there as well, just like that. And then we will be installing our reflector panel piece. That's going to be sitting in right here like that. Then we will be connecting our lighting cable. So for the lighting cable, the red and black wire that's already attached for this piece right here is going to go right on there. And then the center lighting, for the lighting cable in the center, which is right there, so we're going to use the remaining yellow and white wire. Just like that. And then we will be securing that with 2 BP screws. So let's screw this one in, just like that. And then next we will set this one aside for now. And then we'll bring over this piece that we got in the previous pack. So if we flip it over, we need to install some escape pod hatches, which is 4 on each side. So let's get that installed. So just like that, as you can see, we have the escape pod hatches installed right here. Next, we will be bringing over the piece that we were working on earlier, and then we will be connecting the 2 pieces together, basically. Just like that right here. It's gonna line up just like that. And then we will be getting additional lighting cable, or this nice, a little bit bigger harness this time. And then we will be installing the, attaching the the yellow and green lighting cables to the inner 2 pieces here. And then the red and black is going to go on the edge right there. So let's get that done, just like that. And then let's do the other remaining lighting cables as well. Just like that. And then we will be securing the new piece of the deck panel that we just attached to the reflector, or the reflector panel, with 4 BP screws on each panel. That's the remaining screw holes that we have. So let's get our BP screws all screwed in. Just like that. So as you can see, we now have our bottom end of the battle section deck panel all nice and set up. It's starting to get completed. So next what we're going to do is we're going to add some tape to hold the wires into place. So we'll get the all the tapes installed, and then so we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now got all the tapes in place to secure all the wiring cables nice and neatly. So that is it for stage 101. In stage 102, we will be attaching another, assembling another deck panel and attaching that to the south section, and then working on the, continue working on the battle section. So let's get started. So as you can see here, we have a metal deck panel where we need to install some escape pod hatches. So we'll get those hatches installed, so we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the escape pod hatches installed onto the metal deck panel piece. So next what we're going to do is we're going to install the escape pod cover bracket, which is this little plastic metal black plastic piece, and that's going to fit in one direction, just like that. So the notch is going to fit around this screw hole. Then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AM screws. So let's get that one screwed in, just like that. And then next we are going to install the outer panel, which is this little outer plastic piece for the outer edge of the exhaust section. So for this one, basically it's gonna fit just like that. So the part of the side that has the longer end from the bracket is gonna be facing to the pointing to the left side. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 IM screws. So let's now get this screwed in. So just like that, we now have this deck panel all nice and built up. So next we'll be attaching this over to the saucer section. So let's get our saucer section here. So this piece of the deck panel we just assembled will be fitting right here on this corner. So I'll just get this one nice and fit. Just like that. So as you can see, we have this deck panel now nicely fitted onto the sausage section. And then we will be securing that into place with 2 FM screws. So let's get this piece screwed in now. And then once we have this deck panel piece screwed into the frame, we will be putting the screw cover, the escape pod hatch screw cover there, just like that. And then that's all we'll be working on for the sausage section for this pack. So we'll set the sausage section aside now and bring over the battle section. So first off, for the battle section, we'll need to assemble the battery box. So basically, we need to install the little bolt and nut. So place the nut in through there, and then put the nut cover right on top, and then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AP screws. So let's screw that in just like that. So now we have the little battery box assembled. So we'll be bringing the battle section piece right here. If we zoom out just a little bit, then we will need to connect this onto the board here. So be connecting this right onto the one small 2-pin connector that's on the PC board that's still left open. So we'll be feeding in the switch through this tiny little triangular gap there, just like that, and then we'll get the battery box connected to the board. Okay, so we had some issues with the mic, but basically, to repeat what I did, the part that didn't have the audio, basically what we did was we connected the battery box to the PCB board here, as you can see. Then we added 2 CR2032 batteries in the battery box and attached the battery cover. And then we got our battle section bottom half of the deck panel that we've been working on in this pack and the previous packs. And then basically we connected all the wirings to the PCB board. So once that is done, basically now we need to feed all of the wirings through, and then we'll attach this deck panel onto the frame for the battle section. So let's get that done. So as you can see, we've tucked in all the wirings, and then we've lightly placed it onto the skeletal frame. So next what we're going to do is take the RCS thruster pieces, which is these yellow plastic pieces. If we, as you can see, there'll be these 2 right here, and then we will be placing each one on the end. So they will go right here where the 2 notches are on both sides of the deck panel, on either end, on either side. So let's get that done. Then once that is seated in, we will carefully push the deck panel in, and then we will test the lighting for it. So if you turn off the overhead lights, you can see the deck panel, the lighting is working on either side as well. So go ahead and turn our studio lights on, and then next what we're going to do is basically we are going to screw this entire deck panel in with 4 DP screws and 12 CM screws. So we'll get this screwed in, so we'll be right back. So as you can see, maybe a little bit difficult to get it all nice and fit, but we now have all the screws installed to the battle section for this deck panel. So that is it for stage 102 and for pack 26. So as you can see in pack 26, we have installed the scale frame on the edge here, and then also installed this section of the deck panel, and then also installed the battery box, and then added the remaining battle section deck panels on the underside of the battle section here, or the drive section. So you can see it's getting really nice. Also, it's a really sizable model as well. I can't wait to see the finished product. I still have a couple more packs to go, but yeah, we should be done in a few more months. But anyways, hope you're enjoying the series on Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D from DeAgostini, Japan. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the journey to finishing up the Enterprise D. Bye.